Right now, Pastor Jones is holding his protest on the front steps of Dearborn City Hall. You're taking a look right there at that. That's where we find Action News reporter Cheryl Choden. Cheryl, what can you tell us?
Look at what's happened now. You can see that the protesters from across the street, and there were hundreds, they broke through the barricades and they ran across the street and they started throwing things at Terry Jones, who had walked off the steps of City Hall and walked down towards them. I'm going to try to, we'll take a look at what's happening now. You can see that these people, they're trying to push them back. There's a very heavy police presence here. They were all across the street just a few moments ago. Marty, if you can go to the left just a little bit. On the other side of the fence are Terry Jones supporters. You can see that there where the American flags are, there are police officers there. Here come police in riot gear. You can see them coming toward the camera right now. All the police are running right here. They're trying to kind of get these people back on the other side of the street. I'll show you Terry Jones in just a minute, but they pushed him back on the steps of City Hall. I just want to stay on this for a moment to see what's happening. We had a feeling this was going to happen. Everybody was hoping that it would not, but you can see the riot police are right here in a long line right next to me, and they are going to try to push these people back. Terry Jones is still here. He's been speaking since 5 o'clock. He has been protesting everything from the Constitution to Sharia law to the President of the United States to free speech, and everything had been peaceful until just maybe 5 minutes ago. So you can look on top. There are people up on the roof. There are police there and down on the streets, and they're just trying to get things back in order. You can see the riot gear here, police just standing in a line. Let's see if we can back up a little, Marty, and just see what's going on over here. These are Terry Jones supporters. If we can just move for 1 second right here. I just want to get down. Do you see? Okay, Terry Jones is up at the podium. He went back to the podium, and his supporters are all on one side of the fence, and they were trying to keep everybody else across the street. So that's kind of the situation here, a little bit out of hand right now, but it looks like police are trying to get things much more under control. They have pushed everybody back. So that's it for now, and we'll come back to you later.
Okay, Cheryl, any idea, Cheryl, how long this protest is going to last?
I'm sorry, say it again, Diana. Any idea what?
Do you have any idea as to how long this protest is going to last?
Well, he will be here from 5 to 8, he said. Remember last week, he was going to come from 5 to 8 and protest at the Islamic Center of America, and he didn't do that, and they said he didn't have a permit for that. And so he actually, if you remember, everybody recalls, he had a trial, and he even went to jail briefly, and he never did have any protest. So he decided to come back today and protest in front of City Hall, which is a permit-free zone. He doesn't need a permit. But what they have done is right in front of him and in front of the steps of City Hall are his supporters, people who support what he's saying, and they kept everybody else across the street, and they stayed across the street until just really when you actually saw it happen. They were just running across the barricades.
Hey, Cheryl?
Some of those people, yeah, go ahead.
I just how did they get them back? We were watching on a helicopter shot. We suddenly saw the crowd move very quickly backwards. Did they start spraying anything, or was it just the presence of those riot police?
No, I didn't see them spray anything, but I think that even just seeing the physical presence of this line of riot police, and plus Michigan Avenue is not closed to traffic.
Yeah, we can see that.
They did not close it to traffic, so you can see that traffic is, now you can see police are pulling up right now, but it's never been closed to traffic, so traffic was going by, and that was kind of keeping them separate, and people were honking their horns, and it was pretty peaceful. You were just hearing chanting, but we were just nervous about and waiting for them to break those barricades, and when they started shouting about Islam, and they just broke through the barricades and started to come. I can see they're arresting a few people, Marty, over there. They've got a few people that they are arresting, and they want to keep the peace. I mean, that was their main thing, because this is going to go on until 8 o'clock tonight, and there are hundreds of people. And some of them are people who have just come to protest, unfortunately. And they brought a lot of young people with them, but these are a lot of community people as well. They're arresting this young man right now.
What are they saying? What is he saying as he walks away? What are they hollering, Cheryl? What are they saying?
Well, the people across the street are saying, you know, down with you and down with your message, and they've got all kinds of signs saying don't trample on our beliefs. And Terry Jones, in the meantime, is standing right up there and just saying, you know, Sharia law is bad, and the President of the United States is the worst we've ever had, and we need free speech, and you know, you don't know what radical Islam is, and you people don't understand it, and basically that's what he's just standing there and just talking by himself right on the top.
When that crowd broke through, I mean, we see them on that one side of the road, or that looks like, I guess, like the south side of the road. And they were pressed back. When they came over, there was still a void between them and the Terry Jones supporters. What was stopping them from getting between those two? Did they have another line?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you, here's the interesting thing. This is what prompted it. First of all, you can see there are metal fences along here,
right.
So there are metal barricades here. That's number one. But Terry Jones came down from the podium and just started walking down the steps as if he was going to walk right across the street, which he didn't. But when he started to walk that way, all these protesters started to come through the barricades and walk toward him. And then I don't know if you could see it the moment you came live to me, but they were throwing like water bottles or shoes or things like that across.
Did it look to you then, Cheryl, like he was intentionally trying to incite those people across the street?
You know, I don't know what's in his mind, Stephen. I just think that he was just, if you could have seen the way he walked down, it was like he was going to try to walk right through them. But he didn't, obviously, so that incited, I'm sure that did incite them. Whether it was his intention to do it, I'm not sure.
What's his demeanor, Cheryl? What is his demeanor? You know what?
Diana, his demeanor, I don't know if, Marty, if you can see him at all, his demeanor, it's like he's standing in a pulpit. It's like he's just kind of preaching and talking over and over again about the same thing, about the violation of his constitutional rights, against Sharia law, against radical Islam. And then after he spoke, Pastor Wayne Sapp, the other man who was with him last week, he took the podium, and while they were speaking, whatever they were talking about, if you can see, they're holding a sign. If you can see Wayne Sapp, if he's in the blue shirt, you see he says ban Sharia law in the USA. So whatever they're talking about, and when they were talking about President Obama, they had a sign about that. So this is what they're doing here, and this is what they came to do, and it is their freedom of speech to do it. And I know that police are just hoping that they can keep things under control.
Yeah, can anybody even hear his speech over all the yelling and the chanting?
No, that's the thing. I can barely hear what he's saying, too. I'm straining to hear what he's saying. Somebody brought a speaker system for him. I don't know who, but it's certainly not that clear because I am straining to hear it. I mean, I'm picking up words, and I was really straining to hear it. So I don't think the people across the street can hear it at all. And you can see, let's go back, Marty, across the street. Things have calmed down, and they've got everybody behind the barricades.
Is he packing a gun today?
Say it again, Diana.
Can't help but wonder if he's packing a gun today.
You know, he's behind the podium. Let me look. Let me see. I really couldn't see it, but he does open carry. So, I mean, my guess would be, and there have been hundreds of death threats against him. That was clear. That was made clear by the police chief, and by himself, he said that there had been many death threats against him. They knew that. That was a major concern. So if I can see his side and I can't, I'm guessing that he probably would be.
All right, Cheryl, hold on a second. We're going to recap for a second, just if you're tuning in right now. We came to Cheryl about 5-6 minutes ago, just as a crowd of, I guess you could call them anti-Terry Jones protesters were far across the street, and they had crashed across the street trying to get through the barriers where the people were on the other side who were supporting Terry Jones. And so that's where we are now. They've been pushed back by police, so just to set the stage, that's where we are right there, Cheryl.
And a couple taken into custody. We saw one young man taken into custody. What's going on with that now, Cheryl?
Are you still with me? I just want to make sure
we're
you're still with me.
The young man that was taken into custody.
Well, they took him into custody. I think there were 2 or 3 people, actually, who were taken into custody, and maybe they were the people who were throwing the bottles or the shoes, or maybe they were maybe they just wouldn't, you know, maybe they came to agitate the police. We were told earlier some of the people came here probably, I know this sounds unusual to some people, but some people came here hoping to get arrested, to make a statement or make a scene.
Yeah, we see that happen a lot there, Cheryl. So right now, what's your assessment? Is it back on like an uneasy calm or what?
I think that's a very good way to put it, Stephen. I would say that, let's look over across the street, I would say that it's a little bit of an uneasy calm. You can see there are, well, the riot gear police are still here right next to us, and the regular police officers, and we have Michigan State Police here, we have Wayne County Sheriff's deputies here, we have the special team of Michigan State police officers, and all these officers here to the left. It looks like they're going to kind of maybe back, but I think this is going to stay in, like you said, Stephen, an uneasy calm. We are going to be here. We will come back to you if anything else develops, and of course we'll have a live shot on Action News at 7, and we'll have a wrap up on Action News at 11.
All right, Cheryl, just stay safe out there, whatever you do.